Harvey, your first meeting is with Carla Burman. Get there an hour early so you have time to look around and gather questions for your meeting. Follow any leads you can for the Miller report. Good luck and don't trust anyone.
How do I compare thee? How do I compare thee? All the gin joints in all the towns. You had to take another day, punk. Do you have warts? Does your friend have warts? Does anyone you know have warts? If so, Mr. Miller, is it? We weren't expecting you for another 20 minutes. Not a problem at all. Well, cut it out, man. Not a problem at all. Welcome to Bowman Carson. My name's Steve Crow. Pilot, seriously, man? I hope it wasn't too hard to get through the protesting outside. If you don't mind, can you, place... Hey, you need to leave that alone, right now. Place your briefcase on the conveyor belt, sir. Okay, great. I just need to check through it. Sorry about this. Second. Right, this all seems to be in order. Here's your ID badge. If you could just follow me to the security desk. Okay.
Oh, there's no other land for me. Damn it, he's got that song stuck in my head.
Ah, Mr. Miller. We didn't expect you so early. Let me just print your agenda. Give me a second. Your first is... speak of the devil. Carla. This is Mr. Miller from the Turing Post. You have a meeting today, I believe.
Yes, of course. A pleasure to meet you, Mr. Miller. Is it that time already?
No. Mr. Miller is just fashionably early.
Good. For a moment I thought I was running behind. I'll be ready in my office for our meeting as scheduled. I have to run, I'm afraid, but we'll speak soon. Thank you, Dan.
Righty-o, Carla. Right, here's your agenda.
Great. Why don't you read that over and put it in your briefcase for safekeeping?
I suppose that's everything from me. If you need anything further, you know where I am. I'm a wee bit busy, I'm afraid.
Hey, what's up?
Hi, Steve.
Hey, listen, about the...
It's fine. What are you up to, anyway? You got a busy day?
Yeah, you could say that. Oh, hey, Dan's been going on about some email about your password or something?
Oh, not this again.
What's going on?
Oh, it's stupid.
Really? I don't know what it's about. Just that it's a security risk or something?
Only if you're flippin' psychic. Honestly, it's getting to be a joke.
Why? What's going on?
It's basically, my password is written on one of the items on my desk. Nobody would know that, though, if everyone would just stop talking about it.
Oh, I see. What's the password?
I'm not telling you, dummy.
Hey.
Anyway, what are you up to tonight? Are you coming to the pub with us?
Looking sharp, Mr. Miller.
Everything dated the 10th of the 4th, 1987, the day of the attack, has been boxed and archived and still needs reviewing. The phone records were particularly interesting to me. I've looked through about 20% of all the files I've collated as of yet, and I'm not sure exactly how much more I'm going to find. I'm certain I'm onto something big, but I fear it's going to take me a lot longer than I have to find what I need.
nothing, but I'm just gonna check something out. Whatever, I can't see anyone around here. I'm done. I am so bored. Okay, that happened. is dull.
Hi, Chance. No, I've got too much going on. Sure. Well, the new ink arrived yesterday, but it was late, so I've had to start the new poster today. Oh, good. Yeah, I'm sure he will. Well, you can come over and take a look if you don't trust me. Maybe I can come over and check your codes at the same time. Yeah, all right then. No, I've not been able to find it. Nobody has. No. I don't know, Chance. We think it might be on a floppy disk, but we're not sure. You know, Alex, it could be anywhere. Well, for now, we're looking for a floppy disk. I'll let you know if that changes. Yeah. Fine. Okay, I'll talk later.
Steve, I'm just getting a drink of water. Can you cover me?
You're right, Steve. Ronan, seriously.
Steve, I'm just going to the bathroom.
Hello. You've reached the Lost Property Office. There's nobody available to take your call at the moment. For any inquiries, visit Gemma Hughes in room 103 on floor 1. Alternatively, if you know which locker your possessions are in,
Hey,
please
Carla.
bring the relevant access card.
I forgot to
Thank
ask
you.
Have you seen my bag?
Which one? You got a new bag every few weeks.
I'm serious. I can't find it anywhere. I thought I might have left it at home, but I remember using it to get in this morning. No, it's fine. Just keep your eye out, would you?
Sure. Anything valuable in it?
Not really. Just a few bits, you know. My spare ID card, mainly.
Ooh, you need to find that fast. Dan finds out and you didn't tell him?
What do you think I'm doing?
Yeah, well, I'll keep my eye out. It'll turn up somewhere. Nothing stays hidden in this place.
Yeah, okay.
Later.
Yeah. Harvey, I've been going through more of Alex's interview tapes. I found something quite alarming that seems to have been very quickly dismissed. He says his keycard was stolen earlier on the day of the explosion. He said he tried to log it with Carla Berman. I'm not sure how frequently she leaves her office, but if you can somehow gain access, you may be able to find evidence linking her to Alex's keycard.
What you need? Mm-hmm.
We advise against opening or remaining close to windows that overlook the main street. This is just a precautionary measure. Thank you.
anyone in here? Okay, I don't have time for this. Hey, Dan. Just finished searching around over here. Didn't find anything out of place. I'll keep you updated. Steve, I'm leaving my desk for 15 minutes now. What? Listen, Mr. Miller, I know this probably has nothing to do with you, but there was an alarm that went off earlier on, so if you could just make sure to stay in the allocated areas, that would be great.
Hiya, Harvey.
What's going on over there?
Carla, 10 days. 10 bloody days. How the hell could you have kept this from me? I swear to God, my family are going to be deported because of you, and I could have done something about it. Why the hell didn't you tell me? Why the hell didn't you tell me? This is your fault. Everything that happens next is your fault.
Painting? What does it mean?
Hiya, Mr. Miller.
Steve, I'm just getting a drink of water. Can you cover me?
Harvey, I just received an anonymous fax. Do you know where the Turing meeting room is? It seems as though Alex Dubois may have hidden some information in there which proves the Bowman-Carson group are intentionally inflating figures based around the Union Act. If you're able to find the evidence, it may help inform the public about what the truth is here. I'm sure Carla Berman may have a thing or two to say about those figures, since she's the one spreading them in her print media. Anyway, let me know what you find.
Hello? Oh, there's no...
Hi, Mr. Miller. What are you doing in here? Come on, Mr. Miller, out. Oh, Mr. Miller, if you don't leave, then I'm gonna have to call security. Right, thank you.
Hi. What do people see in this? All right, need a drink.
Hello, Mr. Miller. How are you doing? Hiya.
don't forget your meeting later on. Carla will be waiting for you. Try and stay out of the staff-only areas in the meantime.
I hope you're alright, Mr. Miller. You alright, Chimney?
My Lizzle.
Please enter PIN. Code accepted. Access granted.
Hello, Mr. Miller. Please come in and take a seat. So I gather you've got some questions you'd like to ask me. I'll do my best to answer them. Shall we begin? A vendetta against him? Well, that was blunt, but honestly, I'm not surprised. I wondered if you'd bring this up. It's rather troubling, but Alex and I never seemed to get on. And on the night of the attack, he threatened me. I didn't want to make this publicly personal, but it looks like he has anyway. Yes, he left me a voice message. He was very angry about something, and he took it out on me that night. I have no doubts in my mind that that man is guilty of everything they say he did, and I'm frankly amazed that anyone would stand up for him. No offence. Well, you have done your research. I feel bad for what happened to Alex, I really do, but I can't be held responsible for every little action taken. It may have sounded like Alex was the victim, but I can assure you, I felt very threatened by his message. You heard what he said. Everything that happens next is because of me, and we all know what happened next. Well, you don't sugarcoat your words, Mr. Miller. But tell me, what do you think about it? No, I suppose it doesn't. But I'm not here to defend my actions, Mr. Miller. Anyway, you heard the tape. I think it speaks for itself. Well, I don't envy you your job. Shall we move on? He thinks I'm lying. That's not really news, Mr. Miller. I think anyone in the country could have told you what Alex thinks about what we do here. He has a twisted view of things. Out of curiosity, what is it he thinks is so bad about the act? Well, this is getting far-fetched, and I suppose I'm the one lying to the country. Don't answer that. I'm sorry, but I have to deal with this kind of accusation day in and day out. I guess it's an occupational necessity. If by propaganda you mean the important work I do here, then I'd ask you to be a little bit more respectful of the current political climate, Mr. Miller. We are very thorough with our work here, so I'm sure whatever you think you found will be easily cleared up. I make the posters and advertising materials, but I'm not in charge of the figures that make them up. For that, you'd have to speak to someone like Chance Crow over in the Meta Centre. Let me ask you something, Mr. Miller. You've heard the protesters, you've seen our work here. Do you believe the Union Act is good? Frankly, I'm fed up of having to defend my views on the matter. I'm sure you're going to write a very compelling story about us, whichever side you choose to fall on. I hope you realise that misleading the country is the easiest way to pull it apart. I don't believe that's what I'm doing, and I'm sure you don't either. Let's hope you have a productive afternoon here and can see what it is we're trying to create. That poster is designed to inspire the people into believing. I'm sorry, I'm not going to play this game. I'm good at what I do, and that's that. I believe I've said all I have to on the matter. Is that what he said? That his keycard was stolen? Well, I don't think there's any way I could confirm or deny that for you, Mr. Miller. I'm not even sure what that would have to do with me. I don't believe it was stolen, so it would be futile for me to try and answer that. We were all responsible for our own key cards and security logins. Actual keys aren't used in this part of the building. It's all very cutting edge, so anything like that would have been solely down to Alex. That just seems like conjecture to me, Mr. Miller. It sounds far too convenient to say that he logged it as stolen on the day that it happened. If that's true, then where did he log it? At what time? Wouldn't security know about that? I'm sorry, but it's all a little too convenient for me. I don't remember that at all, I can assure you. That email must have gone through to my inbox just after I had the chance to see it. I believe that your research is accurate, I honestly do, but there's no way of knowing now if it was filed. Honestly, it's escaped my memory, and all of the records were destroyed in the blast, so... It appears that he might be, at least about that, but I ask you, what does that really prove? Or that he was clever enough to cover his tracks before he committed a terrible act of terrorism. You may find this a hot topic for your book, Mr. Miller, but I'm not convinced at all. I would be careful who you share this information with, Mr. Miller. He says he wasn't in the building. Well, I don't know how he'd be able to back up that claim. The police found him not too far away from here, that's true, but it was within walking distance. He could have easily got where he did in time, and there's a whole bunch of other evidence. I'm sorry, I just don't see how he thinks that's going to hold any weight. Like who? No, I don't think so. I think it's quite cut and dry. I can't imagine someone else over in the Meta Centre doing it. They like to sound like they know what they're doing, but most of them are incompetent. I know for a fact that some of them use their room number for their alarm code, for God's sake. Does that sound convincing to you? Alex was the only one who really knew what he was doing, and anyway, it's like I said, there was more evidence, wasn't there? Well, for example, the argument we had the night of the attack. Alex and I were having a heated discussion that night. I know that's somewhat anecdotal, but to me it's as good as gold in terms of evidence. Wouldn't you agree? That must be a mistake, surely.
I was sure... Maybe now that I think about it... I mean, that could have been earlier, perhaps. So, he was calling from outside the facility? It's hard to remember that night clearly now, but there it is. Does it really? I mean, it just shows that he could have just... I don't know. Well, I don't know where you got those phone records, Mr. Miller, but I'm not sure how they can help. I don't think I've anything else to add on that point. Nothing comes to mind. Excuse me, what? I didn't say anything about an alarm code. Oh, I'm sorry. I think I must have misspoken. Everyone in the Meta Centre is very careful with their security. I wouldn't... well, let's not dwell on that. No, it was another office. Can we please move on to a different subject, Mr. Miller? Don't you have something about my work that you'd like to ask at all? Did I? Few things around here probably still use keys. It's outdated if you ask me. You won't find anything in the facility that uses them, though our security protocol won't allow them. But I think the older areas still have the old-fashioned key and lock. No? Marlon Thornton, the cleaner, he's the only person who uses them for stock rooms and locker rooms, you know. Oh, that reminds me. If you're over at the Meta Centre later, you should take a look at the old Victorian baths. They're going to be knocked down soon, so you should take a look there before you go. No? They're just quite nice. I tell you what, I'll ask Marlon to open them up for you later on. If he's got time, then they'll be open for you when you go and have your meeting with Chance Crow. Anyway, Okay, Mr. Miller, that's all I've got time for, I'm afraid. Can you please see yourself out?